Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm John McDonald from JM Run Coach. Today I'm going to talk to you about how my London Marathon training is going, go through some of the finer points in some of my previous sessions over the last couple of weeks. And if you stick around, I'll talk about something that has been coming up more and more on my social media feeds, which is training for over 50s. Both in the shorter distances and the marathon distance. So it's something that obviously is near and dear to my heart, and I have a lot to say about it. So we'll start there. How is my 2025 London Marathon training going? Well, I'm glad you asked. So far, so good. I'm almost afraid to talk about it because at the minute things are going so much better than they did for Valencia and Almagro. I would say on par, if not better, than how my Manchester training went for the 2024 Manchester Marathon. Everything is lining up nicely. We all have those weeks where sometimes those easy runs feel hard and everything just is sore and tired and what have you. I've got to the point where I'm a little bit beyond that and things are really starting to click. A couple of weeks ago, I had my biggest volume week on the plan, which was 150 some odd K, which is about 92 miles. And I have to say, although it was a difficult week, I got all of the training in and I have bounced back nicely. This past weekend, I had my 50K, which I particularly like on a training block for a marathon. I always go over the marathon distance, and I will talk about that in another video coming up. But for now, uh, that 50K was this previous Sunday, and it went really well. I did throw in some more specific or more relevant marathon pace miles in there. But for the most part, it was up in the trails, up in the mountains, and pace was nothing to do with it. It was all about time on feet and getting the hard miles in, and that mental challenge. There's so many good things from my perspective about going over the marathon distance. But like I say, I'll talk about that in another video. Coming off the 50K on the Sunday, 3 days later, I had a pretty tough tempo session where it was a 22K run with 18K or about 11 miles at marathon pace. And I have to say, it was probably the best session I've had so far in this training block. It went really well. I would say I recovered exceptionally well from the 50K. My body responded to the rest day on the Monday. The Tuesday was a really easy 10K. And then the Wednesday, 22K with 18 at race pace. So I was only 1 second off what I had on the plan per K, which I have to say is, yeah, I was really pleased. So I'm responding well to the training. I'm feeling as good as I did before the Manchester Marathon, if not better. And yeah, I'm really hopeful. I've continued to do my strength training and my yoga. I'm doing more yoga than I did and maybe slightly less strength training, but I'm still prioritizing both. For me, I just felt I didn't do enough of the flexibility, the mobility, and that kind of training. And this time around, I am getting that in a lot more regularly. So that is, it's all paying off, I believe. I think I'm into week 12, coming to the end of week 12 now. So yeah, it's right around the corner for just over 4 weeks until race day, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah, if you like running content, I'd greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and supporting me and allowing me to get more and more of this content out. Doesn't cost you anything, just a little something that you can do to help me out. Thanks for sticking around. This is a topic that I keep seeing over and over. And you know how sometimes when you click on something, these algorithms will say, oh, he's really interested in this. So maybe that's why I'm seeing more and more of this about training for over 50s. My issue I have with a lot of these coaches and experts on training for over 50s is it doesn't take the individual into account. I can only speak from my own personal experience where at the minute, at the age of 56, I'm training as hard, if not harder, than I did in my 40s. Over the last 3 years, I've continued to improve, and my race times are showing that. And I haven't let up on the training in either intensity or volume. My take on it is what is good for a 50-year-old is the same thing that's good for a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old, right? We all need to focus on the same things, right? We need, first of all, a mix of high intensity and low intensity. We need a decent amount of volume, but we also need cutback weeks where we're letting the body adapt to the training that we've done. We need strength training. We need mobility and stretching. We need good nutrition, good hydration, good sleep. These are all things that are all part of a successful marathon or any distance training regime for any runner of any age, right? So I would say whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you need a little bit of everything. And rest days are important, and rest days are important for a 20-year-old. You can't put your body through rigorous training without getting the adaptation from the training, right? So the training is no good without rest. Rest is where your body adapts. And so my point is every individual is different. Some people can handle high intensity, high volume, whatever their age. And some people just don't respond well to that and need extra rest. And that doesn't really depend on age. It all comes down to the individual. And I think personally, when a coach tells an athlete, you're 52 years old, you can't do this, that, or the other thing, or you're not going to get faster unless you rest more, or decrease your volume, or something along those lines, that's just not taking the individual into account, and it's holding people back. So maybe at the age of 50, you do need more rest. Maybe you need to take the volume down, but not everybody does. And the fact that I haven't, and I've actually increased as I've gotten older, it's working for me, right? There will come a time that it won't, right? And at that point, then I'll adjust. But as an individual runner, get to know your body and you'll know yourself when you need to cut back, when you need to rest a little bit more. And there's nothing getting in your way from constant improvement. Okay, that's all I have today. The next video will be more about the training beyond a 26 miler, beyond the marathon distance for a marathon training block, and why I particularly like it and why it works well for me. So look forward to that. And until then, happy running.